And everyone, welcome back to the channel. I hope you had an excellent New Year's or whenever you're watching this. I am unfortunately just getting over a pretty awful mystery illness that I know is going around. But anyways, let's talk about AJ Mitchell. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff if you enjoy the content. But AJ has been just a revelation for the Thunder this year. Second round pick out of UCSB. I was a huge fan of his. Not sure if I did a video on him, but his driving is so damn impressive for a rookie. 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", and has an incredible shifty handle, really quick, great footwork, great balance, great sense of angles. Like, not a top end athletic talent with regards to burst or explosion, but he can create paint touches like easily. He is so good at just collapsing the paint and making decisions, which is something the Thunder have lacked, especially in the playoffs last year. And now they have that like third guard in AJ, who you can trust to ghost with Isaiah Joe. Matherin freezes for a moment because he's not sure who he needs to guard, and AJ is easily able to burn him. Thomas Bryant is a bit late to the spot there, and he's easily able to finish right there. This is a beautiful little spin move by Mitchell. Rozier overplaying to the middle, easily going to get downhill, and he's so crafty. Look at this little Euro step he's going to put on. Put on my goat, Drew Smith, who was playing legitimately awesome basketball before he tore his ACL, I think, or had some sort of major injury. Shout out Drew Smith. But AJ, finishing with his right hand, he is a lefty, but he has that ambidextrous finishing touch that so many great creator guards have, has always had that, going back to a couple years. And his understanding of angles is so advanced. Let me get my... He is such a good driver, as so many, especially young guards, will take very looping paths to the basket. And right, that allows the helpers, Carrington, Poole, Keyshawn George, to have much easier angles. But look what he actually does. He's going to take a really sharp, straight angle, straight towards the middle, makes the help tougher, and that's a pretty tough shot still over Brogdon, but Mitchell has excellent touch with that left hand, just scooping the ball over his outstretched hand. Beautiful touch, beautiful driver, and even though he's not always getting wide open, Mitchell is so good at like carving out space with pump fakes and using his footwork and using his off arm and a little, maybe you can argue there's some offensive fouling going on there, but Mitchell is really crafty and really strong. There's another off-arm bump right there, but he's able to get into Herb Jones's chest, and obviously elite defender. Wedge out room right here, and again we see the kind of straight line AJ wants to take. He's going to get rounded out a little bit by Herb, but still jumps off of his left foot, finishes inside hand scoop with the right. Really high-level finish right there. And like we said, in the open floor. He's certainly not a perfect player, and AJ is so good in this OKC offense where he can be a third guard, second side. Because when he has to deal with like primary point of attack defenders, especially without a screen, he can struggle. Black and Wagner are working really hard to take away this action. So Black forces into the baseline. AJ's overwhelmed and ends up turning the ball. He's not super turnover prone, especially for a rookie guard, but definitely can be prone to losing the ball there. And Mitchell, just without being a crazy, overwhelming, explosive athlete, can struggle to generate separation. And even though he has excellent touch, he does a good job here, like decel with his front foot right here. You can see hard plant. I call this like a scissor. I've always called it like a scissor step. Hard plants with his right foot, his left foot is back, and then he kind of closes them together to pull up for a little mid-range floater there. But Suggs is an elite defender, excellent athlete, stays right in his face, and he isn't able to separate right there. But that's honestly totally fine for Mitchell's role. Like, he's an excellent cutter, which we're going to get to in a second. Beautiful job just kind of floating in there. But an athletic shot blocker like Conchar is going to be able to get AJ on some of these plays just because he's not the biggest or strongest guy. Like, a good finisher, pretty efficient already, but is probably always going to have limitations. And you definitely saw that in this cup game against the Bucks, especially. Great job by AJ Green, who's a great point of attack defender, staying attached here. Mitchell wants to get straight down, but we can see AJ Green is going to bump Mitchell towards the sideline here, not let him get free. And that's, a floater that AJ Mitchell can make, but it's not an easy shot. It's not one that he's, going to walk into every single time. And when you're trying to go over guys like Brook Lopez and when you're so reliant kind of on these tougher runners like Mitchell is. I do wish he would take an extra dribble sometimes. Easily uses the screen to get past Lillard. Maybe he takes one more dribble, gets a little closer. I get it's tough with Giannis lurking, but again, very makeable shot for him, but with Brook coming over, it's just not as reliable as maybe you'd hope it is. But these are more like long-term ceiling issues versus stuff that's really like quote-unquote concerning, and he makes up for this on-ball some of the on-ball issues with all of the amazing stuff he does as an off-ball guy. Early offense driving, like we said, great cutting, just slips right. Watch Bobby Portis's play. Poor Bobby. Poor Bobby. Anyways, yeah, Mitchell, an excellent cutter. So good at just like timing his slips. And you can see he's not like sprinting back door. He's pretty much like walking, jogging to his spots. And I do think he has a great understanding of where defenses tend to be and where he likes to be. And he is such a damn good closeout attacker already because he's a really effective shooter. Not crazy high volume, but I think he's at like 38, 40%. I know it's pretty great from three. Great pump fake here. De'Aaron Fox jumps. Quick 2 dribbles into that floater. Like, beautiful. Like, that's a veteran play right there. That looks like Mike Conley. But Mitchell again here, going to attack the closeout immediately, finish with his right hand around the rim. Like, again, this is not good defense by Mathurin at all, but always decisive. AJ never really hesitates, which is rare for rookie guards. I mean, AJ is a bit older. He's not super old. I think he's like 21, 22, but AJ's willingness to just go at players decisively when he gets the ball, like pump fake and go. There's no hesitation there. Gets a step on the big and another really tough finish through contacts right there. He's so good at that. And again, he can get to his pull-up in isolation, especially against switches where he has Eubanks on him, and he can just lull him to sleep with his excellent handle and get to a spot, hit that pull-up jumper. He's best, right, just creating off the catch, but he really can create separation, and especially, like we said, against switches, against vulnerable matchups. And because of OKC's stacked roster, because defenses have to allocate their best resources to Hartenstein and J-Dub and even Isaiah Joe, like, you're going to get matchups like this where it's AJ versus a big open floor, especially in early offense where he really thrives. And even AJ against just like your lesser perimeter defenders is not going to go well. You don't need to give him primary attention to have him cook like that. But again, just a very calm, poised, decisive play right here. Pump fake, close that attack. Maybe could have tried to pass there, but kind of swarmed, but is able to just hit a beautiful little pull-up jumper over a very tall defender in Tijon Salon there. Another easy walks into a pull-up mid, but he is an awesome shooter. Has great touch and isn't a high-volume three-point shooter. I think he's below like 4 threes per 75, which is not a lot of threes attempted. I think he's in like below the 25th percentile volume, but can definitely hit shots off of the catch. Kings are loading up hard on Shea right here, understandably so, and AJ one pass away in the corner. Easy shot right there at the buzzer, but the majority of his looks are pretty open, which makes sense. Like, he's not a high volume like pull up 3 guy, not really a movement shooter, not going to take like crazy deep bombs, but he is really good just attacking these tilted defenses, confidently stepping into shots, and of course that fuels his driving, as we talked about with the closeout attacking stuff. But that also really fuels his playmaking too, where AJ is great at attacking closeout and turning those into passing opportunities, where Hartenstein has been such a huge addition for Mitchell, as he has for so many of the perimeter players. But Mitchell here attacks a closeout, hangs in the air, finds Hartenstein. And the great thing about Hartenstein is you don't need him to be in perfect position to score. Like, this isn't a perfect passing chance because you don't get Hartenstein. And yes, he's lifting up here. Most bigs, like from here, Hartenstein's automatic from that range with his floater and his ability to dribble and make decisions. So that just makes life so much easier. And he's great at just the simple kick-out passes. And AJ isn't like an unbelievably special passer. I don't think he has the craziest vision or playmaking skill, but he's an excellent decision maker. Really technically skilled. As you can see, another closeout attacking chance here, right? J Huff comes out early offense once again where they're thriving. They get a good cross match here. The Grizzlies come to double Shea with Laravia right here. which forces Huff to play a long 2v1, and that's just a losing battle that the Grizzlies can't do much about right there. And AJ Mitchell is the advantage extender to capitalize that. And that's what I think makes AJ so valuable is he can create advantages by himself and he can extend advantages created by Shea and J-Dub. And really nice just weak side skip pass there, opposite corner. Caruso hits the three. Definitely has some limitations, like I said, with his size and lack of like incredible passing creativity or juice in that way. But like empty side pick and rolls, easily throwing up a lob there to Hartenstein. Like he has a lot of passing strengths, and as like a secondary creator, he can really thrive. And another one of these easy just like laydowns to Hartenstein, where he has become so proficient there. And of course, Hartenstein's screening opens up a ton for Mitchell as well. And one more example of Mitchell, I think, just using his closeout attacking. Standing on the wing here and just no hesitation. Immediately darts into the rim, sees the help step up. Kenrich cuts in and he's just going to easily slide and pass it down to Kenrich Williams. So Mitchell is an awesome playmaker. He's good at almost everything on offense, which is impressive. Like there are times where his size does limit him. He's under pressure right here. You can see Kispert on his back, Valanciunas very much in his space. Like it's not an easy pass. It's very congested here. And he's going to try to skip it over the top to Dort, but Poole reads this really well. Poole's having a good defensive season, but sometimes Mitchell just isn't going to be able to see over defenders that a lot of players can, and that's just honestly fine, is what it is. And he's been so sick on defense too, great digging down. This is mostly about offense. I'm not going to spend as much time talking about his defense, but he is a sick defender and certainly contributes to OKC's buzzsaw maniacal defense with his ability to guard the ball, really good off-ball awareness and hands, great job reading the backdoor cut, diving on the floor, getting the steal there, has really quick hands, and his feel for the game that he exhibits on the offensive end definitely shows up on the defensive end as well. He's pretty quick laterally, like great job sliding out on Corey Kispert. Obviously Kispert, and this is the thing with Mitchell too, like he can guard your third offensive option, and that makes him all the more deadly, right? Where he can slide and cut off Kispert laterally. Kispert might be used to getting worse defenders on him than AJ Mitchell, because most teams are just not even close to as deep defensively as the Thunder are. AJ making great rotations. This is an excellent play. Maybe he fouled there. Who knows? But notices that Kaysen has a big mismatch here with Miles Turner, so AJ is going to sink down to contest this pass, ends up forcing a turnover. Really good instincts for when to help, when to stay back, when to try to impose his size, and Thunder end up getting an easy bucket in transition there. More good off-ball reading here from Mitchell. It's just going to be another point of attack block here against one of my goats, Jared Butler. Shout out Jared Butler. Always love watching him play. He's really good against these like smaller guards who love to bump, because Mitchell is very physical and good at taking that contact, which a lot of rookies are not. TJ has made a living off of like bumping guys out with his shoulder, wedging space by getting low and skinny and narrow and compact. But AJ is a really good matchup for that because of his strength and his frame, and because he can also get skinny. And I just want you to pay attention to how Mitchell is moving laterally here. Look at his feet churn to stay attached to Seth Curry here. He is fighting to stay in front. This arm never leaves Seth Curry's eye line. And that is just a really impressive defensive play, hanging on at the point of attack and making life really difficult for a ball handler overall. But yeah, Mitchell has been one of my favorite rookies to watch this year. I think he is probably deserving of an all-rookie first-team slot. And I think the main case against that would just be his minute share. Like, he only plays 17, 18 minutes a game, I think. But none of the rookies who play super high minutes are spectacular. And I think in terms of just per-minute impact, and obviously AJ has a great situation, and that should be taken into account, but he has forced himself into the rotation onto the best team's rotation in the league. And I think that is really valuable and deserves a lot of praise, that he's been able to contribute on a team that doesn't really need him. Like, his presence is nice and he absolutely helped, but the Thunder would still be amazing without AJ Mitchell. But let me know what you think. Let me know how good you think AJ can become and what you think of this Rookie of the Year race. It is an interesting one, to say the least. But